Hi and welcome.
Hello.
Oh, come on.
I can't believe your solution was just to say hi instead. Brilliant. Carry on.
Oh, you broke me. Right, okay. Starting again.
Hello.
Oh, man, I can't even think of another. Salutations and greetings and welcome. What? What are you saying?
Yeah.
What are you saying?
Yeah. No, just anything you say is going to be funny.
Yeah. I just don't want to say hello. I don't like the way I sound when I say hello.
Okay. Think about what you'd say and then just don't say hello.
Hi is perfectly fine.
Yeah, but it's funny because you're only saying hi because you didn't want to say hello.
Yeah, but it works. Hey everyone, and welcome to That Guy's a Maniac, the podcast DS. Come on.
Yeah,
I think it works.
This is legit.
Okay.
No one noticed.
We are a podcast about video games.
We are.
Yep. My name is Richie. With me
It is.
as my supporting and very, very helpful assistant and also co-host is Farley, aka Kunzi11, who will say hi everyone and explain why we are called DS this season. And some stuff about where to find us on the internet.
Hello, this is the That Guy's Maniac podcast. DS. DS is our season 4 subtitle / gimmick because each episode is divided into 2 halves, like the DS had 2 screens, and we're borrowing the gimmick that many DS games had a subtitle beginning with D and S. The one I found isn't very good, Richie, so let's invent a DNS subtitle for...
What? But this is brutal. You can't put this on us right now.
Justice League Heroes.
Did a
Okay.
squiffy.
Did a squiffy. Before we ever improvise ever again, you can find our stuff at www.thatguys.co.uk and on all the socials at That Guy's a Maniac. Richie, what's the punctuation on that?
It's all one word.
Yeah.
And all lowercase.
Cannot get simpler than that. So head to www.thatguys.co.uk for all your latest news, reviews, and previews on video games. This season, before this season began, we wrote a bunch of words beginning with D and a bunch of words beginning with S, put them into a separate bag each. So there's a bag of Ds and a bag of S. And at the beginning of every episode, we randomly, doing air quotes, pull a D and pull an S. And that's what the episode will be called, and that's what we talk about. So, Richie, you have a big bag of Ds?
Yep, hang on. I'm going to reach deep in there. And... okay, we have one.
Yes.
We have a... oh, we have... Dlang.
Dlang! I've got a bag of S's. Rummage. It's S. Sine.
As in, sine the mathematical coefficient.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gosh.
So, our episode is Dlang Sine. Oh, isn't that a bit like Old Lang Syne if you replace the A and the U with a D?
And how serendipitous it is that such a thing would happen as like Auld Lang Syne. It's New Year's time and all that. We're about to move into 2024.
There's something magical about these bags, and we always pull out relevant made-up words.
I can't wait till the season 5 gimmick.
Me neither. So, listeners, we've done this twice before, which is enough to confuse my tiny little brain about what we've talked about and when it's happening. However, 2 years ago, we did a New Year's resolutions. And then last year, we picked up those resolutions in an episode of the podcast called Looking Back, Looking Forward, where we looked back to what we said we were looking forward to and whether we did that. And then we look forward to the next year. So, without further ado, let's have a refresh of what we talked about last year. Yes.
Yes, last year is absolutely fine to use.
We said last year looking
forward into 2023. Use
Yeah.
the years. Use the years. You know.
in 24. So, Rishi, one of the games which came up twice in a very unsatisfying way is Bayonetta.
Yes.
Did you play Bayonetta 3?
No, I did not.
I have not played Bayonetta, but I said that it'd be typically me if I randomly started with Origins. What's it? Caesar.
I think let's set a little precursor to what you actually said.
Cesarano. What's it called?
Caesara? No.
No, you don't know.
Oh god, you've ruined it for everyone.
Cicedile?
Caesara.
Cesara?
Yeah.
Bayonetta Origins. Which...
So Bayonetta Origins was a game that you thought you would like to play because
Yes.
it looked a little bit different from the Bayonetta games, and
Yes,
it's
and I'm-
typically like you because you wouldn't play the main series, but you play
Yeah.
some weird offbeat, not actually part of the
Yes.
game series, but get the lore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it might be fun to play the series in universe chronology order. All entirely mute. Did not pick up that game. You?
No, I have no desire to play that game.
Cesario.
I still need to finish Bayonetta 2, which I believe is exactly the same point I was a year ago.
Perfect. Another game which came out twice. This one came with a cast iron Richie quote. You said, "Nothing in the world will stop me buying and downloading this."
Yeah.
Which is a bit more measured than some of your previous quotes. And it is Suicide Squad Death to Justice League.
Yes. It did not come out.
Did it not?
No, it comes out February 2024.
Wow. Okay.
But again, I stand by it. Nothing will stop me buying it and downloading it.
Okay, when is it out?
February 2024.
Okay, let's check in February to see whether you did buy it.
Well,
and download
I
it.
might wait for a sale. I'm not like super ecstatic about it. Like, there's been a lot of bad reviews.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Previews? Reviews?
Previews, yeah. And there was another one. There was another one that came out this year as well. It was all
There was
Batman related, and it was
Well, it was Gotham Knights. the year
Gotham
before,
Knights. Yeah.
Which you did say there was nothing stopping you playing from that.
Yeah, well, I have it,
Playing.
and I have it. I actually installed it.
Oh.
I haven't launched it yet.
Okay. So you've
But-
got between now and before you die, or before the service ends,
Yeah.
your statement about playing it to be true.
Did I say I was going to play it?
You said nothing can stop you from playing it.
No, I said nothing will stop me from downloading and buying it.
No, that's what you said about Suicide Squad.
Oh, right,
Death
okay.
to Justice League,
I
which
think
was a measured alteration because previous to that you'd said nothing will stop you from playing Gotham Knights. Neither of which.
No, I think I'm more care about the Suicide Squad Death to
Yeah.
Justice League because that is one that plays similarly to the Arkham things. The Gotham Knights thing is a bit more multiplayer orientated.
And not from Rocksteady, I believe.
Yeah,
is the
yeah.
discussion.
Yep.
Um,
So glad we're having exactly the same good discussion as a
I
year
know.
ago. Yeah.
I know. It's the weird way in which game releases work, I guess. On a side note, totally incidental. Feel free not to respond.
Okay.
Did you see the Switch ports of the Arkham trilogy?
Yeah, that's really a shame. Yeah, but I mean, that's the thing. It's like I do have my issues with the Switch. It is an underpowered little thing.
Yeah.
Why would you put those games onto it though? Which is really weird because the games are like nearly 10 years old.
Well, there's plenty of games that came out 10 years ago which look fine on the Switch. You know, not even remastered, like tweaked, but not remastered.
Yeah.
It just seems. I mean, it is a bit harsh with side-by-side comparisons, but and I guess if you didn't see those side-by-sides, or if you've never played the Arkham, then perhaps it's less rough. But yeah, weird. Next on the list was we were looking forward to...
Oh, incidentally, sorry, just a quick pause. Yeah. Arkham Origins is quite a good one to play at Christmas time. It's set and there's lots of snow. Quite nice.
Great.
Okay, sorry.
In 360 days, you can play Arkham Origins?
Well, you still... Well, yeah. Well, sorry, winter time, yeah.
Okay, festive time,
yeah.
330 days. The next on the list that we were looking forward to was Resident Evil 4.
Yes.
Done.
Yeah, done and played through. I have not played Separate Ways yet, but I did play through the whole thing, and yeah, it's good. In general, it is exactly the same as Resident Evil 4.
Yeah.
With some nice quality of life additions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like we've talked about it before. I'm not going to talk about it again.
However, this is where the life cycle of Resident Evil ends, because you can never progress past 4, so you're going to have to wait another 20 years until they remake 1 again.
They need to make 1 again soon. I guarantee that's the next one they're working on.
Or Code Veronica.
Or Code Veronica. Yeah.
Would you be down for a Code Veronica in the RE engine?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. I'd be down for that.
It's been a while, you know. It's been a while since Code Veronica.
Yeah. Except Steve.
Yeah. I mean, it's weird, isn't it? Because I think that game burned more nostalgia and memories for me than 3 did. Even though I think I ran through it once and I sat and watched somebody play half of it.
No.
There's something about the setting, something about the opening. And also I remember... do you remember when it was this is the power of the Dreamcast?
I remember because it was the first time that everything became 3D.
Yeah.
So it was the first game, because previously the other ones were all just static bitmap backgrounds.
Yeah.
That characters ran across, and this one was fully 3D, and you could like slightly tilt the camera, but it still kept those rigid camera angles at the same time. It was good.
But I just remember that opening where you're in the prison and the dust's falling down, and the guy with the lights are like, "Oh, look at this! There's what games are."
Yeah.
Fucking around with that metal detector. Okay. I did not play Resident Evil 4 only because I don't think I have a system in which I can play it.
I think you should ask Santa for a PS5.
No.
Okay.
I was going to bring it up later. With the PS4, there's like a steady stream of games I have, but I don't think.
Anyway, bring it up later. Yeah.
One I said I was going to play this year, even though I got it year before, was Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah.
I am still playing it, and this is where I think we had a similar rant previously. I'm enjoying it a lot. It's very kind of, 60-second gameplay loop, which is very compelling. It's an Assassin's Creed alike, I guess, but with more bits that I like and less bits that I don't. And considering I got this game for free when PlayStation had a, play whatever season. Yeah. There's just too much content in these games, man. Just too much. And I know you don't have to do everything, but I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying
You do.
Unraveling the story. There are collectibles. I could burn through it, but then I feel like if I burn through it, I'll have no excuse to stick around afterwards. So kind of doing things as I go. Also, it does get quite tricky if you don't kind of pick your levels up. Yeah, it's insane. This has been on my playing list for 2 years, and I think I'm 56% of the way through. So I have been playing it, and this year is a prediction or a resolution. This year, 2024, I'm gonna get it off my slate. I'm gonna rinse it.
Rinse it. Nice. Good stuff.
And I have no desire to pick up any kind of sequel if it's going to be that big again.
Okay, so write this down. That's resolution number 1.
Resolution number 1. I will platinum Horizon Zero Dawn and the DLC because that also came free with it. But I just don't understand the environment we live in where for free you're given like hundreds of hours worth of gameplay. And you know, we have a little bit more time than I guess most people our age for playing games. Yes, this is slotted in alongside, you know, a couple of series which I play every single game on and ridiculous number of hours, but why are there so many games coming out when a game from 2018? No.
Well, that's the whole thing. You get to be picky. You know, there are so many free games. I literally every week I get a game for free, or at least two games for free. And in fact, during December there will be a countdown where you get a free game every day, and I'll add them to my list. And I'll be like, that sounds fun. I will add it to my ever-growing backlog of thousands of games. Yeah, and fine. But you get to choose. There's nothing wrong with owning games. I think it's just choosing what you want to play. And I'm struggling with that dilemma, which we'll talk about going forward.
I think I have my own internal demons about what I should and shouldn't be playing and how I should play them. And you often offer a very refreshing voice of kind of like, you know, don't let your own bugbears hang you. Don't be hoisted by your own game demons. But at the same time, I find it weird that there's this mismatch between how the games industry like promotes itself. The Game Awards wasn't that long ago in the podcast timeline. You know, which is all about like new games and upcoming games, and I'm thinking it's making me feel like out of the loop, despite the fact I'm having a great time with old games, which aren't even that old, you know?
No, it's true.
It sits strangely with me. Yeah. That's all I'm going to say on that matter.
No, I know. Look, I mean, there's models, and like the whole fact that you can get a game for free, and even one of a very high caliber for free. It's just because it's being subsidized and it's being done by other like other games are paying for it. Like 80 quid Final Fantasies are somehow paying for you to get Horizon Dawn for free. You know, like it is messed up. It is a weird situation. But I'm not gonna say no. You don't say no to free. Also, all of your data is being sold to Sony, so you're owed it.
Look how slowly this man is crawling through this massive game from 3 years ago. If they're monetizing that, then all power to them. However, I do think, which is a typical old fart of our generation complaint, that there is something, and you've alluded to it already on this podcast, there's something odd about having more games than a young me could ever dream of, and too frequently sitting there with a controller in my hands thinking, I don't know what to play.
yeah. Why is it this guy shacked in? I didn't know what to play.
I don't know. I've never told you this, but maybe this is why we're such good friends. My internal monologue is Scottish. Yeah. So I thought everybody's was, but it turns out just mine.
Brilliant.
I guess yours, Scottish people have an internal. Does your internal monologue have a Scottish accent?
My inner monologue is most definitely me. But he's not a very nice person. He says horrible things to me. So probably, yeah, let's never get acquainted.
Yeah. But I do. Do you think there's an issue with too many games, or not an issue, but it creates a weird, like you're grossly spoiled for choice, but at the same time, part of me is like, but when you were young and you get one game a year, you'd give that game a good try. Whereas these days, there's every excuse to be like, nah, not feeling this right now. Quit.
Yeah.
Play 2.5 minutes or something else. Nah, quit. Go back to my big dopamine machine game and not really bother with anything else.
Yeah, exactly. You find a piece of comfort in a game that you are enjoying, and then everything else on the peripheries is just kind of like, I don't know, passes the time until you return to that one.
Speaking of which, World of Warcraft. This obviously came up in the last 2 years. This year, you were looking forward to beating Arthas.
Yeah. Arthas.
Then you weren't too sure if Cataclysm was coming next and if you'd play it. And you teased us, you dirty tease, with I might be out this year.
Right.
How did it go, Richie?
So, I am no longer raiding. I did not get Arthas down, which is really annoying because, rather stupidly, I decided to leave at a point where we were just about to down Arthas. So basically, I just left that game with a sort of on a cliffhanger of never defeating Arthas.
Whoa. This is... In the Planet Square of options, I think you've chosen the worst square.
Why?
Because you said you were looking forward to beating Arthas. And
yes.
When you discussed it last year, at no point was it, that was potentially the end of the game. Why is it that you've chosen to not?
I'm pretty sure there was a potential that is the end of the game.
No, you're saying that's the end of the game, and then at that point we were unsure if Cataclysm was coming out. Oh, did it come out?
Cataclysm has been announced for 2024.
Okay.
We can talk about that in the second half.
You were saying you weren't too sure if that's when you tag out, but you've kind of...
I've tagged out before.
You've tagged out before. I mean, you're still playing, right? Let's be clear. You're not playing WoW.
I'm not really, but I'm
just clarify that. Is that I'm still logging in daily and doing my dailies or doing whatever, or is it I do not even boot up?
I am not logging in daily. I'm not doing dailies. I am fucking about a little bit, but on a non-regular basis.
Okay, you're not out, but you're not in.
I am phasing out. I'm definitely on the way out.
Okay. And why did you stop before Arthas?
I wasn't really getting that much joy from raiding anymore.
Mm-hmm. Did it become too jobby?
It wasn't too jobby. Too jobby.
Too jobby? It's my internal monologue again.
No, it's just there was a lot of reasons around it.
It's so funny because just every word you've said about it does sound like a breakup.
Yeah. No, I get it. I would say the main reason I stopped playing was it's you, not me. The main reason I stopped playing was I was coming away from raids, or indeed even when I wasn't in the raids, just feeling deflated or stressed or something like that. It's just like, there's no point having that in your life.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess it's a breakup of sorts.
Yeah. Okay, just stop pumping the fun hormone. Anything coming up that you'd be tempted to bring?
Let's talk about it at this side.
Okay, yeah, well, next up.
Yeah.
Good question, good point. we briefly spoke about Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, indicating that we were playing it. Obviously, the DLC hadn't come out yet. By the time you'll be listening to this, both DLCs have been out. This is another game that I have emotional issues around discussing with you in particular.
Oh dear.
Because I think you might be out. I think you've got the tiniest of toes in. Like, did you finish the DLC?
I didn't even download the DLC.
Oh, that's what I mean.
Yeah. I think Pokemon have kind of fucked themselves a little bit with this generation. I had a little bit of fun.
Yeah.
And I think my exact
Stop making it sound like relationships.
It fucking is, and you know it. But no, I think my main issue with Pokemon, this is exactly what we said when we were talking about it before, was that we forgive a lot with it.
Yeah.
And we do. We forgive clanky, rubbish menus. We forgive very, very bad pop-in graphics.
Yeah.
And things like that. I mean,
home on 6 out of 10 occasions just crashes to close rather than save and exit.
Yeah, like
really bad.
The management and sorting and just the sheer volume of what am I going to do next. Do I even care? Because I ran out of goals in that game very, very quickly. But it grabbed my attention a little bit for the
shiny hunting is what you mentioned last time.
Really?
Yeah, he said you were watching YouTube videos about how easy it is to shiny hunt. This is exciting to me.
That was Christmas, and then I was watching this guy basically shiny hunt every single thing. I didn't do that. I did it for maybe one or two. I enjoyed the outbreaks and the concept behind it. The raids I did not enjoy. I felt that prepping and creating a meta character sounded a bit too much like World of Warcraft. And
except the reality of a Pokemon raid is sometimes your character will disappear, sometimes the character you're fighting will disappear, sometimes all the menus will disappear, sometimes you'll be stuck in nothing for ages, sometimes you'll just crash out, so you can't really see what the other people are doing, you can't really easily check what the status on the field is without interrupting your turn flow.
You're not even convinced that the people that you're fighting with are real people.
And you've got no way to exit once you work out that two people have brought a level 75 Pokemon to a level 100 raid, and you're almost guaranteed to lose. So
sorry. There was more to not forgive than forgive about that game, which has turned me off to the series a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I said. I think you're out.
I am quite happy to wait for another generation or Switch 2, which has got a decent amount of processing power.
Yeah.
Also, did you ever see Pokemon running on PC emulation?
Yeah, I've seen various.
It's just like, oh, that's the game that it's meant to be.
Well, there's one.
Release it on PC, just release it on PC. Move
there's
on.
one, I guess, amateur developer, or in their spare time, they are essentially modding in everything from Pokemon into the BDSP engine.
Okay, nice.
And it, which quite rightly received mixed reviews. And yeah, just with the extra time, and of course with the PC behind it rather than Switch hardware, again, that glimpse of, oh, this is what this game could. They're adding in Mega Evolution, they're updating attack animations, they're, adding in like Ash Greninja, etc. Oh yeah, this looks more like something I really enjoy.
But I think the main thing is because I had the WoW time sync. The time sync in Pokemon was just kind of like, I don't feel the desire or pull to go in, and it's not because WoW was better or whatever. It was just more that, like we were talking about, the big dopamine hit games. I just found that starting up Pokemon and seeing things pop in and out of frame, or it disheartened me to that whole series. I had fun trashing through the storyline.
Yeah.
Endgame, I don't feel compelled to stick around for Endgame because it doesn't play well. Or at least that's my memory of it. I may be being a bit harsh.
No, I think that is all valid. Since we discussed it last year, the home compatibility came in, and I said I was looking forward to bringing up some of my old guys, which I have done, and then I enjoyed the DLC. But as I said last year, it's only really events, of which there are many, if you're really interested in participating in all of them, that's keeping me coming back. But I'm also kind of happy that this isn't like a forever game. There is kind of an end to it. I don't feel like I'm constantly missing out, or I've got dailies to do. There'll be like a nice stream of quirky events, like, oh yeah, okay, that'll be something to do. There's a Eevee weird mark thing, or the releasing the starters with a limited edition mark. I'm free that weekend. I'll spend a bit of time getting that and downloading the event, and then I'm happy to just kind of like shut it off and rotate through the last 24 Pokemon games rather than spend all my time on it. Frustratingly, I feel like I could happily, if Pokemon Scarlet and Violet didn't exist, I could happily put way more time into Arceus. Legends Arceus. Just like feeling out the Pokedex entries and stuff like that. But at the moment, that's kind of like a guilty pleasure. Or if I get a Pokemon who's in the PLA decks, like ribboned up in BDSP, then I'll kind of bounce them through. So they live in the past for a bit and then put them through to the end.
That whole concept of like moving things through and updating and things like that just doesn't appeal. And it's the same with Home. It's like, oh my god, look at Home. It's such a mess. And the idea of sitting down to tidy that up is just, ugh, no.
But, I mean, it is an ongoing commitment.
Yeah.
Just to keep it tidied up. And part of me is, if I'm playing Go and I get a new shiny, part of me is like, oh, okay, I'm going to have to transfer this to Home, bounce it through 3 different games, EV train it in this game, do something with it in this game, do something with it in this game. Ugh, I'll just keep it in Go for the foreseeable future.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's bad. Okay, that's enough Pokemon. I am looking forward to the DLC. We know precious little about it, so opinions on that in the new year. Which is out by the time you listen to this, but we've not played it yet. Next one. It's taking way too long. Diablo 4.
I played Diablo 4.
Yes. Was it as you predicted? You were looking for more of Diablo 3. It looked very dark.
It was very dark. It moved away from Diablo 3.
Yeah.
It is definitely with its faults. It has.
Was it broken on launch? That was another prediction you had. Not as badly, right?
Not as badly. There was queues, of course. But I think it was only for like a day or so that it was broken on launch. And also I'd paid to get in a couple of weeks early. Yeah. So that was fine. Because I'd played it to an awful lot.
Let me ask you another question.
Yeah.
Has it replaced the Diablo 3 slot?
No.
You come back to the season? Or you just back to Diablo 3?
I haven't picked up Diablo 3 either because it's now tainted. Annoyingly, I would After playing,
what you mean.
yeah,
I know exactly what you mean. If Diablo 4 hadn't come out, you would be playing Diablo 3. Because Diablo 4
I'd happily, happily.
You can't play.
Yeah. But yeah, no. Diablo 4, really, really amazing character creator at the start. A lot of fun there. It is really dark. It is quite visceral. The mechanics for items and upgrading and all that sort of stuff is just meh. Very meh. I enjoyed playing a few styles of the Necromancer, but I found no real. After I did the main game, I felt no real desire to come back and do like the seasons, of which we're on the second one now.
And hey, sometimes that's fine.
Yeah.
You got your time. Do you reckon you got your money's worth?
I had fun with it, and then I made my peace with it.
Yeah.
After like 2 months or something.
Great. You don't have to. Yeah, not every game has to be a forever game.
No.
Roll on Diablo 5, I guess. Next one. Tears of the Kingdom. However, last time you mentioned this, it was prefaced with you haven't finished Breath of the Wild yet.
Yes.
And we did a lot of talk about why, and you're kind of stuck in a rut where you have to get yourself up to speed in order to remember what you were doing in order to finish it, but you won't play Tears of the Kingdom without finishing Breath of the Wild. Where are you at with that?
I have not played anything more of Breath of the Wild.
Fine. You mentioned Neptunia Sister vs. Sister. It's still not out.
It is out.
Oh, is it? I saw it on the coming out next year list.
No, it's already out. It came out in like April, I think.
Did you play it?
Yes.
Oh, and? Did you talk about it on the podcast? I'm being really rude right now.
Yeah, probably. No. I don't know if I did. I played it, and the mechanics have been updated from what the old Neptunia games were, which were turn-based.
Yeah.
As in like really, really classic turn-based, as in Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
Sort of turn-based
like
attack.
Everything pauses until you do your. No, that's not Final Fantasy.
That is, yeah. Well, if you choose that mode.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Have you been playing it in the hard mode where enemies don't? Yeah. Can't switch out your Pokemon team.
That's cheating.
Yeah, so basically pause turn-based, and they've updated it, and it's a bit more like Final Fantasy VII, or in that sort of vein, a bit more advanced, or Final Fantasy 13, I would say, actually, where you've got a bit more reactiveness. Basically, I started playing it, and then I started feeling really guilty, because I should really play Final Fantasy 7. So I enjoyed playing it for a little bit. There was some cool plot about PCs taking over and everything else taking away, and I thought, this is quite an interesting development. Of course, PC is an anthropomorphic anime girl version, but it's it's just it just fills me full of I should really play Final Fantasy VII instead. The remake, of course.
The remake, of course. Yeah. So it must be getting ported in 2024. Yeah, Switch. Fine. That's what I thought. You were looking forward to RoboCop?
Yeah, played RoboCop. That came out just a month ago, and we talked about that on the last podcast, I think.
We did.
Yeah, it's a game. It's very RoboCop-y. You get to shoot people, and it's very, very in the future, but in the future of the 80s, which is really nice feel. Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean, don't you?
Yeah, I know what you mean, and I think that was the resounding thought that came through all the reviews is, yes, it's very RoboCop-y. This is a good RoboCop game.
Yeah.
It's not going to sound your world of light if you're not really into Robocop. It's not.
Yeah, maybe not for you.
Maybe not for you, but it's some good fan service rolled in with original people being involved, and if you like people exploding in clouds of blood and stompy stomp, that's what it has.
Yeah, lots of stompy stomp.
Lots of stompy stomp. And then, before we roll into break time, I briefly mentioned Detective Pikachu ha ha ha, because was it ever going to come out? It did come out. When I was really ill, I watched like 26 hours of a Let's Play, one of those Let's Plays which has no commentary, somebody just playing the game. I have no desire to finish that Let's Play or play that game.
Oh, why is that?
It's the first Detective Pikachu on 3DS is just really slow. It's linear and slow. Also, a classic complaint with puzzle games, with air quotes, in that you can see the solution to something miles in advance. You have to wait for the game to spoon feed you the narrative, or to do this before you do this, to go and talk to the thing which clearly did the thing that you're interested in. And just every step of it is just really, really slow. It's kind of like all voice acted and clicking through dialogue, and it's ploddy. As much as I like Pokemon games where we see, another aspect to that universe and people living in harmony with Pokemon, it's just too slow, boring, and don't normally get hung up on visuals. It does look like a 3DS game on Switch.
Okay.
So it was only in my kind of delirious, sick state that I could tolerate it, and even then, I was kind of happy when I fell asleep and just couldn't be bothered to rewind and watch it. There we go. Which brings us nicely onto break time.
Break time.
Break time.
Break time.
Richie, it's break time. It's the middle of the podcast. I'll tell you what happens in the middle of the podcast. We've done our D section, which was Dlang. We ask each other 2 questions each from cards in the ultimate video game trivia, and we refresh our palates, and then we head into the second half of the podcast. Are you ready to answer 2 questions?
I have a quick question as well for you. Okay. So, the
Bonus
break
question.
time music.
Yeah.
Do you think it sounds a little bit like the Annie Lennox song,
Yeah.
Wings of an Angel?
Yeah.
Break time.
Perfect. Good. Yeah, because basically I've had that stuck in my head probably for about 2 weeks since, sort of like every time I edit it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised. There's all these people who do restoration and like digital archiving of games. And a lot of them who get really, really deep into this stuff and are involved with, house clearances of former developers are like, oh yeah, I've got this junk. Anyway, there's a group doing like audio reconstruction, which the ethics of it's really interesting. What they're doing, the kind of point of what they're doing is really interesting. So one of these groups is looking at recreating what a song would have sounded like before it was, what it originally would have sounded like instrumented before it was kind of compressed or performed on, some piece of electronic musical gear in order to get stuff on like the Game Boy or the SNES, right?
Yeah.
Mental stuff. The song never existed like this because the developer was working with the tools. Anyway, they're doing that. And some of them fall down these rabbit holes. And one of the weird things is that they're finding that a lot of these snippets or samples, which are kind of being compressed into these music
Are
files.
just straight up copies from like TV shows and
TV shows, big songs like obscure, 2000 sound effects for film, TV, and whatever. So who knows? Maybe at Sega they do have Eurythmics. Is it Eurythmics or is it just Danny Lennox by that point?
Oh, that's a good question. That's a
it's
good
Eurythmics,
pub quiz question.
I think it's Eurythmics.
I think it's Eurythmics as well.
Yeah.
Although
I'd be
all I can think of in the video is just her.
Yes, which was most Eurythmics videos. Occasionally the other guy was like in the background.
Yeah, like, jamming on a keyboard.
Exactly, looking a bit like either Chaz or Dave from Chaz or Dave. Doesn't it?
One of the Chuckle Brothers.
So you potentially heard it here first. The sound bite for break time from Project XY Rub Rabbits possibly is sampled or inspired by that Eurythmics track.
Yeah.
Maybe. To be confirmed.
To be confirmed. Yeah, breaking break time. Right.
Breaking break time, right. I got a question. What is the profession of the playable mouse character Tilo in the 2018 game Ghost of a Tale? I don't know what any of these bits of this question are at
I
all.
believe his profession is candlestick maker.
That's a good suggestion. Are we gonna faff around with clues? Yes, we are. It's a profession which is also the name of a chocolate sweet.
Chocolate orange.
Close.
Matchstick maker.
No, close.
Oh,
Do you want to keep going?
yes, definitely.
Okay.
Candlestick maker, matchstick maker. What else? What other kind of chocolate do you get?
There's no maker. It's the name of the sweet is the name of the profession.
The name of the sweet. Werther's Originals.
It's got an old school profession. I don't really think it is a profession.
Flumps. Chocolate.
Think like Geoffrey Chaucer, Disney's Robin Hood,
Flake. No.
Flake. William Shakespeare. Flake.
Don't flake.
Professional flake.
Professional flake. Writer? No, that's not a chocolate.
Okay, I'll give you another clue. The sweets are like a bag of different chocolate sweets, like circular.
Button maker.
It's in the button chocolate family.
Minstrel. He's a minstrel.
Yes!
He's like, first time, nailed it.
Nailed it. Tilo, 2018, Ghost of a Tale. Never heard of.
Neither have I.
Great. Ask me a question.
Okay. The kingdom of Hallow Nest
Oh no. Yeah.
is the setting of which video game? Hallow Nest.
Is it Hollow Knight?
It is. Fucking nailed it. Nailed it.
No audio clues given whatsoever. Hallow. Hollow Quest. I can't remember what you said now. What name did fans give the unnamed protagonist of the 2012 game Hotline Miami? Didn't know this happened either.
I have not a clue.
Okay, it's an item of
T-shirt.
clothing.
Hoodie.
More outer layer.
Jacket.
Yeah, well done.
Nice. Okay, cool. Right, okay. You have no excuse not to get this in one go.
Fuck, right. Which
No excuse.
Mortal Kombat.
No. You
What
have
colour is the Mortal Kombat blue girl?
This question
Red.
is too easy, okay?
Come on, I'm
There's no
stressed.
reason. Okay. In which N64 game does the player take on the role
Yeah.
of...
Mario. Super Mario.
Almost. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Joanna Dark.
Hey! Is it Perfect Dark?
It is. See? Do you see what I mean? You were
No.
going to get that. There was no reason for you not to get
I
it.
know, but often you're like, oh, you should get this, and it's the most obscure shit, like Ghost Tail Tito, whatever his name was. Great, that was a high octane, high stakes, high stress, but we got 4 out of 4. for break time. Let's carry on into Sine.
Sine. So, Sine, our second section. Our second section is dedicated to what we are looking forward to in 2024.
Yes, and this is a note for future me. This is the bit I'll have to look at for next year's episode.
Yeah, that and also the resolution that you made in the first half.
Yeah.
That you made a note of.
Forgotten.
Oh my
I'll
god.
play Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah, okay. No, in fact, you're going to finish it.
If I'll finish it, I will tell you next year what Zero Dawn is.
And you will also tell me what the definition of finished is in for Horizon Zero Dawn as well.
Yeah.
Okay?
Great.
Cool. Right. So, I guess there's very few games in 2024 so far that have been announced that tickle my fancy.
Agreed.
So, let's just chat about a few of them, and then we'll talk about what we're actually going to go and play, and all the things that we said in the first half. We'll talk about this in the second half.
Yes.
So, I think first off on my list, it's a really annoying one, but it is also going to be part of my resolution. I would like to play Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Rebirth. Okay.
The second one, basically.
The second one.
So that also might not even come out in 2024 because I will be playing on PC.
Okay.
So far, the release is for PS5. I think they were saying 6 months to a year before it comes out on the PC. Yeah. So maybe. We shall see where that goes. But in order to do that, I definitely need to play Final Fantasy VII.
Remake, which I believe was what you said either last year or the year before that.
Yeah, probably. But it is also crippling my other games, as you have heard before. And it is also... There was a chain of events because I got Guardians of the Galaxy, which plays very, very similarly to Final Fantasy. And I was like, you know what? I'll finish Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
But instead I've just done nothing. And I played Spider-Man instead.
Instead I just did nothing.
Well, I didn't do nothing. I was so paralyzed by the both of them that yeah.
Well, you said this last year. You said, I'm really loving it. You played it for 2 hours. You're really loving it.
Yeah.
You don't know why you're not playing it. And sometimes you play some utter trash instead and think, I should really be playing Final Fantasy VII.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'd say get it done. It's really good. You know it's good. You enjoy it.
There's the other side of it. What you just said there, get it done.
Yeah.
I'm so paranoid that I would have to do a New Game Plus. Like, I feel like I need to sit down with a guide in order to move through that game.
No, as I said,
materia and things like that.
As I said last time, once you get through the credits, it is built for replayability, so you can jump in chapters at a time. If you want to go for all the achievements and whatnot, you have to play it at least 3 times anyway. So I'd say, do not worry about it.
Okay,
for your first playthrough.
Just play through it and get happy. Okay.
Yeah, get happy, and then if you really want to head back and do bits and pieces, you can just jump in at whatever chapter and do whatever you need to do, or to start a new playthrough. Yeah.
Resolution: by this time next year, finish Final Fantasy VII.
Brilliant, and we can have an actual discussion about it.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Cool. Did you watch the trailer for Rebirth?
No. Like, I'm not gonna watch it.
Okay.
Why?
Well, it's just really enjoyable, and there's a bit where, I mean, it's not a spoiler. Eris is on her knees in a prayer position.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, and then a black feather falls down. You're like, oh!
Yeah.
And that's the end of the trailer.
But I mean, I know that quite a few people are saying, "Is it going to happen? Are they going to kill her off?" I'm going to say no.
You reckon?
I feel like she's got plot armor this time.
Well, apparently this. Well, so some people have had hands-on with a build. There's bits of information going around. Apparently, it's going to be quite long. This remake can be done quite quickly. You don't get distracted with bullshit side quests. Helping children catch cats and whatever.
Yes, that's literally where I am at.
yeah, which is fun. It's fun to do, but you can beeline it a little bit quicker. And one of the observations about Final Fantasy VII Remake was it's very long, and you basically don't even get to the end of the first disc.
Yeah, you're
Final
still in
Fantasy
Midgar,
VII.
aren't you? Yeah.
But then from what's been shown of Rebirth, unless they do a massive backpedal, is, pretty much all the team are there. Stuff that happens much later is there. It's like, oh, okay. Is it gonna be quite long and as expansive as our memories of 7 are? Are they gonna whiz through it? Are they gonna compress it a bit? Are they just gonna completely mix it up so you end up with like a full party much sooner? All to be decided. So yeah,
Is Vincent in?
he's in the trailer, yeah.
Okay, because I saw Sid was in. He's like the last one you get, Sid, isn't he? Well, technically Yuffie is.
Yes, yeah. She's already in it. Isn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the whole gang's there.
Yuffie?
I know. I was gonna, but I don't know. Yuffie.
Yeah.
Yuffie's just wrong.
Yeah. I bet it is Yuffie though.
It is Yuffie, yeah. Yuffie's probably some despicable sex act.
Join me around the back for a bit of yuffing.
Yeah.
No.
And then he yuffed me off.
Right in the mouth.
Oh, jeez.
Right.
Okay.
So Final Fantasy VII, that was something I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
What are you looking forward to?
Well, on a related note, and part of the reason why I had a little bit of a rant earlier on about feeling bad about not playing new games, because almost everything I'm looking forward to is a game I started playing in the 90s. But one of the games is more one for you. I was going to ask you about it because I do not give a fuck about this series. Kingdom Hearts Missing Link.
No. No. Is that not the mobile game?
Which is described as a GPS action RPG.
Yeah, don't. Stop looking at it. Ignore that it's even coming out. Think that your phone won't even run it. Just move on with your life.
You, if you have any interest in it, because I know you love that Sega Gacha game so much.
It also has GPS in it. It's not a side-scrolling beat 'em up at all, is it? No.
No, it's like it looks like a bad. But it's in closed. There's a limited closed beta that it's finished on Google and is moving to something else. No, finished on Apple and it's moving to Android. Okay, good.
Yeah, no interest in that at all.
I mean, it probably
Also,
dispenses some key part of the timeline in between.
Aside
Dream
from
drop distance and 2.5.
Yeah, don't. Aside from Pokemon Sleep, has there ever been a TGM mobile game we have been looking forward to?
No. Although I got on a Final Fantasy VII bent recently. I don't know why. Nostalgia. And I did download Ever Crisis.
Okay.
And I played the first chapter, which is kind of cool. You get to play sections from Crisis Core 7 remake, 7 and something else. So it's a mix of styles. Did the tutorial, thought, oh, this could be quite fun. Then saw how much I'd have to download for the game to be up to date. I was like, nah, I'm not.
Yeah. And once
not.
you've downloaded that, then they want your money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at the moment they're doing like a Christmas tie-ins. If you want Tifa's Christmas outfit or Eris's Christmas outfit, you have to pull on the tickets. And I was like, do you know what? No, I've seen it. I've experienced it. I think it's quite a good idea.
And the Kingdom Hearts game will have exactly the same shit in it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, just let it go. Let it go.
Okay.
Move on.
But I just love the so trash is part of the gaming sphere that somebody unironically was like, yes, people get excited about a GPS action RPG.
Yeah.
And this will be the vehicle where beloved Disney and Final Fantasy characters will. Sad.
Yeah, no, just move on. Move on.
Are we also not talking about the Devil May Cry mobile game?
Oh, I think it was blocked because of loot box rules.
Okay, fine.
So I just don't think it'll come out in the... Well, I think it can come out in certain localities, but EU will block a few of these things. So I wouldn't fuss it.
Okay, and then I guess I'll go again because that is literally... I looked through the list and nothing really jumped out at me at all. Slightly intrigued about the Devil May Cry and Tomb Raider animes.
Okay.
Yeah.
We are a podcast about video games. I know. It's video game adjacent. I'm just.
That's the only thing on the slate for next year. I was like,
Yeah.
But a very reserved, like,
Yeah.
Could be Castlevania. Could be Resident Evil CGI shit. We'll see.
Yeah.
But every time something Devil May Cry happens that isn't a Devil May Cry game, proper game, I do get really sad.
Yeah. You should play Devil May Cry 5.
No, I loved 5. Loved 5. I watched somebody else play it.
All right. Okay. I did actually have a tangent question, and you've kind of brought it up. There doesn't seem to be too much from Capcom at the moment. So obviously Street Fighter 6 has just come out and they'll be charging everybody for the rest of the characters, but there should be another Resident Evil game this year. Mm-hmm. Nothing's been announced. I would also think we are overdue for a Devil May Cry 6, given its popularity 3 years ago.
Uh-huh.
Do you reckon any of these games will come out? And if so, what Resident Evil game? I mean, we talked about it. Code Veronica would really want. I think it's going to be 1 in the RE engine.
Yeah, I mean, maybe 5. Maybe they'll just do what they always do and pretend Code Veronica doesn't exist. Just work through them chronologically and do 5 again.
I don't think they'll do 5. I think it's too soon for 5. I think.
Well, that's it. You say you think it's too soon for 5. In my mind, it's too soon for 5, and 5 is still like one of the new ones that I've played through twice, but need to play through it another 3 times. But it probably came out before most, 18 years ago, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Which in these days that's basically retro, right? Yeah. Someone was saying that PlayStation 2009. Yeah.
I mean, it was on 360.
Yeah, 360 and PlayStation 3.
Yeah. I think Resident Evil 1 is the next one, but we'll see.
Unless they go kooky, It's like, do you know what? Outbreak. Now's the time.
yeah, sure. Resident Evil
the
Outbreak. Yeah.
I mean, frustratingly, they keep pouring money into these shit free games they give you. There was Reverse, with Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3, you got a whole free other game. So just stop giving us that weird free stuff that isn't very good and has no player base 2 weeks after it launches. And just do a proper Resident Evil Online. And then now they're in such a weird position that there's so much Resident Evil content in other better online games that I don't think they can compete with other developers, fan-based use of their material, sanctioned fan-based use of their material, than they would on anything they do themselves. So I think, which is a long way of saying, I think the safe bet is to rework the single-player story games. And I think all your ones are a good shout. Maybe it's time to revisit the first one. Could do Code Veronica quite easily. Or start working through the numbered ones because it might be a bit confusing, as it was when it originally came out. So like, what is Code Veronica? Or something else. There's a new Monster Hunter on the horizon, which is weird to me because
you still haven't fully played the first one or appreciated it at all.
I think I've now missed 4. And it feels like there's Rise, there's World, there's Generations, and then there's the new one they announced. So it feels like those are coming out way, way quicker than they have any right to do. It's like Rise also had this massive extra DLC. Yeah. Strange. Papa Capcom's in a weird spot at the moment. Do you remember it was like nothing, then everything Capcom did was bad, then Capcom are on fire, and then now we're in a...
Puffer Cat.
What?
Puffer Cat?
Capcom were on fire?
No, you said Puffer Cat are in a weird space.
Papa Capcom's in a weird space.
Papa Cat, okay. I definitely heard Puffer Cat.
No.
I just got this image of a cat in a puffer jacket.
No.
Sorry. Go on.
Papa Capcom's in a funny place. Not quite riding the high that they had previously. Well, they're saying that 4 came out this year.
Yeah, they absolutely are. For the Resident Evil franchise, it's great. Separate Ways just came out, but what's next is really what's on my lips. You know?
Okay.
Right.
Moving on.
Yes.
Moving on. Anything else you're looking forward to from the scheduled releases?
Princess Peach Showtime.
Oh, is that next year?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah. Don't really know that much about it, but I'll probably spend money on it quicker than I would on a Pokemon game.
You've not got WoW anymore. You've not got Pokemon anymore. You've got Final Fantasy VII Remake, which you'll blast through, so why not? It's got Peach, which you love. It's got dressing up your dolly, which you love.
Yep. Oh, I do have another resolution as well. Sorry, breaking news. New resolution.
Exclusive.
Baldur's Gate 3.
Oh yeah, I heard it's good.
It's a really, really, really good game. It's really good, and I'm paralyzed by wanting to do the perfect playthrough.
Such a Richie complaint. Yeah.
Annoyingly, it's like I spent around about 10 hours of that game or more, trying to recruit a specific person.
Yeah. Who is she?
Minithra.
Yeah.
She's a bad paladin, and she's a bad guy, and you can only do and get her recruited normally by committing genocide, or indeed atrocities in general. So there was ways to get around it, and they got patched out, and now they've patched in again. Oh, here's a way to recruit her, but still keep your good playthrough. And it's like, I'm now maybe 20-ish hours past that point where if I was to go back to my old save file, I would go back an awful lot. Do I care enough to go back to that point? Do I just start again?
I think you should just start again, because if you didn't start again, you'd feel slightly dirty that you'd not optimized it, or you were missing out on something, and that you'd never get. And whereas we all know what most players want is, I think there are very few players who are, I'm going to be the evil bad guy throughout.
I don't want to be.
There are very few players who are like, I'm going to be the angel throughout. Most people want to be like a nice kind of dickhead character, right?
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to play the murder hobo. I have a character I like. I have my tiefling bard. She is mostly good, but has a crush on the gay vampire. and also the big tall tiefling lady as well.
Yeah.
So that I'm enjoying that aspect of it, and I've got so far into the game that I whenever I boot it up, I'm just like, I'm just gonna play on the character creator, and it's weird because it's such a good game. The part of me is just like, you know what? Just accept it, move on. You know, complete the game and enjoy the playlist. Enjoy the playthrough for what it is. Yeah. But then there's always that. But they patched it so that I could get her back in. And I could really do with a paladin. I like the idea of having her on my team.
Well, put it this way. Given that you like the game a lot, do you reckon it's kind of guaranteed you'll do another run anyway?
I don't think so. Like,
is it that big? Is it that?
It's huge. It's why I kind of feel like starting fresh.
Yeah,
might be the way to go. But again, like, it's just sinking the playtime hours into it, man. It's tough. That being said, I know more now. Like,
it's true, and also it sounds like you're in an impasse. So it's kind of a moot point because you won't be able to move forward without this bugging thing happening. And who knows, Richie, might be patched out again.
No, like, I think it was because of people like me is the whole reason it got patched in.
Yeah.
Let's
do it. Get it done. Get it done. That's our motto for this year.
Yeah, just continue on with the game. And
I say restart.
You say restart?
Yeah.
Do I make the same character though?
Yes, you do. Yeah, you absolutely do.
Ugh.
Well, you say you keep going in and remaking her anyway, so.
Yeah, I did restart, but I made a paladin, which just kind of makes the whole thing defunct as well.
Jeez, I don't think maybe you just don't need to play it anymore at all. I think you've got the most out of this game.
I've got an awful lot of this game, more than anyone should got. Yeah.
This moral dilemma on going back or not. You don't need to.
But I need to keep flirting with Asterion. Oh man.
How about this? 2 save files. Just play it twice.
No.
Have your old game and your new game, which you're kind of simultaneously playing.
I don't know.
Okay, what's your resolution? Make a decision about what you'll do by next year?
Yeah, by the end of next year, I'll decide what I want to do.
Not do anything, but just have a path.
Yeah, exactly. The other thing is that they are consistently patching the game and adding new content and new bits in. It's just kind of
I know. I saw someone was raving about it. It's like, oh, these all look like good. You know, like the patches have a massive suite of we've improved this, we've improved this. This.
And like, we put a proper ending in for this person. Like, oh, all right, okay. Wow. Yeah. You know, it's almost worth starting again.
You don't want to. You're an impasse, dude.
Yeah, maybe.
Work it out.
Maybe if
Work it out by next year.
Maybe if I play Final Fantasy VII first, then I can just start fresh because I'll have forgotten everything that happened in it.
Yes. Make Final Fantasy VII Remake your. I can't touch anything else until I've done this game, and then by the time you finish that and started Rebirth, maybe you'll have a bit of clarity on the old Baldur's Gate issue.
Yeah. Okay. Right. You sent me a thing. Sega doing all the remakes.
Oh yeah. Sega suddenly realizing it's a video game making company that has a good series of backlogs to do.
Yeah, and there was nothing dated, was there?
No, it just seems to be like a manifesto launch of, hey, we're going to do Crazy Taxi, Golden Axe, Streets of Rage, something else.
Jet Set Radio.
Jet Set Radio, yeah. Which is, I think we were literally talking about Crazy Taxi the other day, so...
Yeah.
Maybe they listen to the podcast.
No. But yeah, Streets of Rage 5, I think, is probably the only one of that lot that I care about, because Streets of Rage 4 was so good.
Yeah.
But I worry because it looked like a 3D arena and not a side-scrolling beat 'em up.
Same as Golden Axe, yes.
So I am not in if they change it into a 3D arena. I want a side-scrolling beat 'em up.
I mean, you already had like a bit of uppy downy screeny stuff, right?
A bit of?
Uppy downy screeny stuff, you know?
What do you mean?
Like, Streets of Rage is like 2.2D, right?
Yeah. No, look, just don't stray away from that engine. Everything they did in Streets of Rage 4 was amazing and it was great. It made a lot of money. It made a lot of people happy. Don't stray away from that. All you need to do is change a few things, make it a little bit longer, make it chapter based.
Listen, dude.
Yeah.
Games are on this bit trajectory, right? You are 16-bit, and the only place you can go is 32-bit, and then the only place you can go is some shitty PlayStation era 3D mess. All inevitably heading towards a open world games as a service endgame. Can you imagine Streets of Rage open world? But it was still 2D. That would be amazing.
Yeah, everybody's just going around picking up apples and pipe bars.
Yeah. The hub is like some shitty street level or something. Anyway.
Friendly Fire is on as well. Everybody's just accidentally grabbing each other. Yeah.
You just got like 200 skates wooing around. Whatever Blaze says, what does she say? Why that? Yeah.
She does Chun-Li's Kyosho.
Doesn't she go, what the? And she does like her weird fireball hand thing. And then she goes, George.
In Streets of Rage 4.
George.
Anyway. Yes. In Streets of Rage 4, she's got a more clear voice. And she definitely does Kyosho. The whole the Chun-Li fireball thing.
George. Okay, so Streets of Rage.
Streets of Rage 5, I'm excited for it if it's not a 3D arena thing. If it is, then...
Crazy Taxi?
I don't mind Crazy Taxi. It can be very... stressful on the old heart.
It is really stressful.
Yeah, like I don't mind it, but I'd like to see something different in the formula.
Yeah, and also the entire game just loses its appeal if you had like a no timer mode. It's like, well, now I'm just playing the GTA Taxi thing.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Cool.
Right.
Two games which I know I'll be playing in 2024, which are not coming out in 2024. They are old games, and again, adding to this paranoia I have about just playing the same game series for the last 30 years. I have started Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion, I think it's called.
Okay.
And I am on the Switch because I found it for half of its suggested retail price.
So Crisis Core is the one that follows Zack, right?
Yes, it's during the Wu-Tai era war, and you are a soldier, Sephiroth rattling around, and you do missions. It's mission based. It's a PSP game, so I think it's a PSP game. So it's like mission based, where you're selecting missions and doing them and leveling up things. So I've played the prologue and the first mission. Really enjoying it. It's all updated to look like Final Fantasy VII Remake, the menus, the music, the cutscenes. So yeah, it's solidly looking forward to putting some time into that next year.
Cool.
And then the other old games moving forward, as I mentioned before, I bought the new Tomb Raider trilogy.
Yeah, good.
Ahead of the original 3 coming out next year and the new one potentially coming out next year. So I've pretty much done Tomb Raider, the first reboot. Now working my way through Rise of the Tomb Raider, which it's dated now. Graphically still looks amazing, despite it being maybe 10 years old, maybe less. But it's firmly, you can tell because it's in the game, firmly in that period where everybody was like, FIFA's making a shit ton of money on loot boxes and cards. How can we add this to a Tomb Raider game?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I'll blast through the story. Whether or not I'll do the 18 different things. There's a zombie mode, there's a survival mode, and there's all these cards for you to unlock. Because I picked up this game came out ages ago, it came with like tons of gift boxes with pretty much the best things you might want. And then after that is Shadow of the Tomb Raider, which I have not touched at all. And those are, good, solid. Missed out on them when they first came out. Looking forward to them. I like what they've done with them. They're not crazy open world. You explore tombs, you shoot things in the face. There's a storyline which I care a little bit about, actually.
Okay.
A new canon. Yeah. So there we go. So when did Crisis Core come out originally? 2000?
Oh God.
When did Tomb Raider come out? Like 96? So that's what I'm playing in 2023. Games from the 90s. Updated versions of.
Cool.
Or spiritual successors too, should we say.
Well, similarly, I am going to play and finish Super Mario RPG.
Yeah.
So that's going to be my Christmas holiday game.
Yeah.
You know, when you're off like visiting people and stuff like that, and you're like, I have nothing else, so the Switch is going out, and I'm just going to play Super Mario RPG. It's so pick up and playable because it is pause JRPG style, you know. So I'm quite happy to just get through that game, remember it. I'm already enjoying the nostalgia. I think, like we said on the last podcast, it is a bit weird. I would prefer it in the old pixel style. It feels a little like a Switch game. But yeah, I'm gonna have fun with getting through that one. What else am I gonna play in 2023? Final Fantasy VII, of course. Which should open up a whole plethora of other games, including maybe Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah, I think that's about it. To go back to World of Warcraft, so Cataclysm is definitely going to come out in 2024. I'm not super fussed about Cataclysm. I don't know if you really remember the lore or how the expansions came out, but basically Cataclysm was the point where, hey, we've inflated the levels so much, everybody's so overpowered, we're actually going to start everything a little bit from scratch. So they took away all of the talent trees and put very, very simple ones in instead, and also completely shattered the world. So all of the old zones in Azeroth are changed. They have new quest hubs, and they have areas and new areas and stuff like that. And it's a little too close to what retail is now, and I don't like retail. I don't play retail at all. So I kind of feel like if I do play Cataclysm, it's going to be very, very casual. Certainly not bothered about raiding anymore in that sort of fashion. And yeah, it's just going to be a thing. However, there is a casual WoW out at the moment, which we briefly talked about.
I remember.
So there is Season of Discovery, which is they've been trying to do seasonal WoW. So what they've done is they've released the original World of Warcraft, as in before the Burning Crusade and Wrath of the Lich King, but they're doing it in little sections. So they put a level cap that you can only get to level 25, but they've put new things in the world to discover. So there's new runes that you can find, which basically give you little powers that you can add to to your armor and things like that. And they've added a new raid, and it's maximum 10 people. And it's also done in like 40 minutes. So it's kind of like a casual WoW that they put in.
Mm-hmm.
I've floated about in it. It's a little bit of fun, but it is also very, very piecemeal. It's also quite nice that it's just there's no point in going hardcore in it because you're only going to get to level 25. So it's just kind of like, oh, okay, just enjoy it for what it is, which is going out and seeing the original world again. That might have some promise, like because it's sort of like pick up and play, and I can do it, and then I can go back to playing other games, and then when they bring out the level cap being raised to 30 or 35, and they bring out a Scarlet Monastery raid or something like that, you can just sort of like jump in. But again, they're not bringing it out like every 2 weeks there's a new level cap raise. It's like, it'll be when it happens, sort of thing. Which is, I think it's a nice way to sort of change the way to approach World of Warcraft.
It's so intriguing, isn't it? And it's a theme, perhaps, to many of the games we've talked about. Is you have such a love for a series, be it Final Fantasy, be it Tomb Raider, be it World of Warcraft, and they're kind of coming up with, instead of being hey, here's a big game and a big game, all kinds of ways to try and like, okay, this isn't right for you, but maybe you like it in this, but maybe you like the mobile version. Maybe you like, okay, if you don't like retail, maybe you like classic. Ooh,
yeah.
Maybe you like casual, And there's, I don't know whether it's disgusting and depressing, and a way that that content, media must be consumed. Please consume media and don't do anything else. Or whether it's like somehow important, or actually this is the next phase of media, is not just the constant steamroll of big new things, but hey, you like this so much, we're not necessarily just going to capture your attention in one like world or one massively multiplayer online. We want you engaging with it in many different. I mean, Pokemon is a perfect example of this.
Exactly. Yeah.
If you throw in Hearthstone as well for kind of World of Warcraft, then okay.
I mean, like, you've got retail, you've got like, there's so many different ways you can engage with it. But I don't think it's meant. I don't think any one person is meant to play every single version of it.
Okay, but you're like 3 for 4, so. Oh no, I guess you don't play casual, right? Not casual. God, fucking these terms. Retail.
So I don't play retail. I'm not playing current classic.
Yeah.
Which will turn into Cataclysm.
Yeah.
I'm playing a little casual version of it. That's it. So
yeah.
Well, technically there's a classic era as well where you can play the original game. But it hasn't had any love, and it's been in the final phase for like 2 years. So.
And psychologically, although you've just fairly done a fairly detailed breakdown of why you're playing it. What do you think's motivating it? Like, is it the classic concept of trying to recapture how you first felt about these things when they're fresh? Is it you want some familiarity, not too much difference, and that you have to relearn? And we've already talked a couple of times on this very podcast about I'm not going to pick that up because I have to remember what the controls are, right? Whereas this is my nice, warm, soft, familiar. I know this in my dream. Or is it just an adjustment of this fits around my life better than the other version?
I think that. I don't know what the grand scope of it is, because I do see people who have, in the 9 days that it's been out, have already cleared all the content.
Yeah, okay, thank you. There's the people who ruin it for everyone. Great, yeah.
But no, I mean, that's fine. Like, somebody had a weekend off, and you can get to level 25 in, like a day, and a bit. Yeah, great, good. And there is things still to discover, and there is a PvP thing and stuff like that. But like, there is also going to be a lot of other people, and I say it's a majority, who are just having a little play about in the old classic world that they maybe started playing in. But they are then able to just sort of digest it a little easier, without the commitment of, hey, these raids, you've got 3 of them to do, and they all give you good loot, so you should probably be raiding, maybe 4 or 5 hours every night of the week.
Yeah.
Plus also the timing of it as well. So as much as I have left the game for Wrath, or Wrath of the Lich King, it is dying now, because most people have killed Arthas. There isn't much more to do than just kill Arthas over and over again. They've also introduced a buff, which makes the game easier and easier and easier. All it is really just waiting for Cataclysm to come out at some point. So there is a lull coming off. So, here we've just presented this brand new version of Classic where you can have a little play about with, and guaranteed the timing is going to be, in between. The releases of the new content is going to be in between the high volume player times. So, for instance, in Cataclysm launch, there's going to be so many people jump in to that, and then it'll die off a little bit, and then they'll bring out a Season of Discovery thing, so you can go back and play and do that thing. And then Phase 2 will come out for Cataclysm with a new raid and new content. Massive burst. And everyone will play that, but then they'll need something to keep them coming back, and they'll do something in retail or whatever just to keep people's interest going. Like, join the different worlds, do the different things. Who knows? Like, I figure it's just a model to keep people subbed,
Yeah, but
we're talking a long time about World.
We are, and I'm just undecided whether it's a good thing or a really, really bad thing.
I think I think the intent is to keep everybody playing as much as possible all the time. However, the ability to pick and choose based on your preference allows you to still enjoy World of Warcraft in some fashion, but without the massive commitment.
And on that massively dystopian,
I
mean, the next iteration is you pay your ad exposure pays for you to live in a gelatinous capsule where all you do is just cycle through AI iterations of WoW. Just generate the stuff you want.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Straight into your brain whilst they harvest your electricity and sell it to somebody. Have a happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everybody!
That guy is a maniac.
Why'd he hip hip hooray? What is hip hip hooray got to do with New Year's?
Nothing.
What is the thing you say?
Old Lang Sine?
Dlang Sine.
Dlang Sine?
Dlang Sine.
What D is it? Happy New Year?
Yeah. Happy New Year.
Yeah,
Happy New Year. Happy hip hip hooray.
What I only recently realised is that Americans say when the ball drops, and I just never really clocked that was a weird thing to say about New Year.
But you know what it's from?
Yeah, there's actually a ball that drops.
Yeah. In Times Square.
Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, or Madison Square Garden. Yeah, okay, cool.
I think Madison Square Garden. Anyway, fuck off.
Yeah.
Fuck off. Readers, fuck off. Go and do something else. Go and plug yourself into your WoW ever machine.